Communism is often considered a utopian theory that has never been truly implemented in the real world. The so-called communist states, such as the USSR and CCP, were in reality fascist dictatorships. The version of communism practiced in these countries closely resembles monarchy, where leaders and their inner circles live like royalty. Many Chinese and Russian billionaires have direct ties to the leadership and the party. Can this be called communism, or is it more akin to a monarchy? Political labels have allowed corrupt leaders to manipulate and divide people, much like organized crime. In the Western world, leaders openly embrace capitalism, allowing them to exploit citizens and taxpayers with transparency. Ultimately, people have always been deceived. Political ideologies are primarily marketing tools, with the true objective being the acquisition of power and wealth at the expense of the powerless. A Machiavellian perspective on communism and political power. Communism, often heralded as a utopian ideal, has never seen genuine implementation in the real world. States that have claimed the communist mantle, such as the USSR and the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, have in practice operated as fascist dictatorships. The supposed communist regimes resemble monarchies more than the egalitarian societies envisioned by Karl Marx. The leadership in these nations, along with their close associates, live in opulence akin to royalty. Many billionaires in China and Russia have direct connections to the ruling party, suggesting a system not of communal ownership but of centralized power and privilege. This prompts a crucial question. Can this truly be called communism, or is it more accurately described as a new form of monarchy? From a Machiavellian standpoint, the use of political ideologies like communism can be seen as a strategic tool for consolidating power. Machiavelli argued that the appearance of virtue and adherence to noble ideals are often more important for rulers than the actual practice of such virtues. This perspective helps explain why communist regimes proclaim ideals of equality and communal ownership while in reality fostering stark hierarchies and personal enrichment among the elite. In communist states, the leaders' ostensible commitment to Marxist principles serves to legitimize their rule and placate the masses. However, their true objective is the acquisition and maintenance of power. The leaders' luxurious lifestyles and the emergence of billionaire elites closely tied to the party reveal a system that uses the rhetoric of communism as a facade. In practice, these leaders employ tactics that Machiavelli himself would recognize: manipulation, the strategic use of fear, and the consolidation of power by any means necessary. The Machiavellian lens also clarifies the role of political labels in maintaining control. By branding themselves as communist, the leaders of the USSR and CCP could position themselves as champions of the proletariat, even as they amassed power and wealth comparable to that of monarchs. This manipulation of ideological branding serves to divide and conquer the populace, preventing unified resistance and maintaining the status quo. Comparatively, in the Western world, political leaders openly embrace capitalism. This transparency in ideology allows for a different kind of manipulation, where the mechanisms of exploitation are clear and accepted as part of the system. Here, the Machiavellian principle of appearing virtuous while committing necessary evils is less about hiding one's true nature and more about normalizing and justifying it through the accepted norms of capitalism. Ultimately, the Machiavellian analysis reveals a fundamental truth. People have always been deceived by those in power. Political ideologies, whether communist, capitalist, or otherwise, are tools for leaders to gain and retain power. The true aim of these leaders is not the realization of ideological principles, but the acquisition of power and wealth at the expense of the powerless. The isms of political parties are crafted for marketing and branding, creating a narrative that distracts from the underlying pursuit of dominance and control. In conclusion, the real-world applications of communism, as seen in the USSR and CCP, are far from the utopian ideals imagined by Marx. Instead, they represent a modern form of monarchy, where power and privilege are concentrated among a select few. Through a Machiavellian lens, it becomes evident that political labels and ideologies are merely instruments for leaders to achieve their true goal: the perpetuation of their power and the subjugation of the masses. The history of political systems is, therefore, not a history of ideological battles but of power struggles, where the ultimate victors are those who master the art of manipulation and control.